Valentine's Day, man.
Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to the Internet Dad Show. I'm Jason. That's Dave, and we are your Internet Dads this morning. And Deke is getting his camera set up. He's coming. He's on his way. Stop this before it goes too long, because that intro song is way too long. This is us making do with the fact that Rumble messed up all the, improved the video tools. By improved, they took features away like transparent video and anything working that was working before. Whatever. Rumble Studio, here we are.
The app on the phone is horrible.
No, it's not. It's not horrible. It's not.
If you're running it, it's not horrible. If you're trying to join the studio app, oh my word.
Okay, so there's two Rumble apps. Rumble apps. The Rumble video player. Deke, you'll get it in. Deke, don't. Come on, guy. Oh, jeez. Deke's mad. All right. So there's two apps. There's the Rumble Studio app that's like the YouTube player, and then there's the. I thought he was here. I thought he had sorted it out. And then there's the Rumble Studio, which is there's Rumble Player and there's Rumble Studio. Rumble Player app is arguably better than YouTube because you can turn on a podcast or a show or whatever, turn your screen off and listen to it. So if you are the kind of person that likes to listen to a show like
you have YouTube Premium, you can do that too.
Yeah, but YouTube Premium is like $10 a month.
Free. No, it's free if you have a Pixel.
Nobody has a Pixel. Okay, so for the poor people in the world. Okay, I don't want YouTube Premium anyways. YouTube censors everything. So anyway. Deke, come on, Deke. You can figure it out.
I had to figure it out.
You can figure it out.
You got this, Deke. 2 weeks ago. I was at the airport.
All right. Yes, Rumble Studio is the one that lets you broadcast, lets you join the shows like this and broadcast. So you're saying you have trouble signing into Rumble Studio because you don't have a premium account, or you just have trouble signing into Rumble Studio?
Rumble Studio. So when you post the link, it does not open the Rumble Studio app.
Oh, really?
And it should. That's the problem. It needs to launch that.
Oh, we're off to a hot start. Deke's mad must because of his fat ass. Happy Valentine's. Deke, you're getting love over here from Do Good.
Come on, Deke. Get in here.
All right.
Use the Chrome browser.
All right, so the link that I post, it doesn't open in Rumble Studio. That's what you're saying.
No, correct.
Here he comes. There he is. There he is. Deke.
I think it might be because we don't have full accounts, or we're not in control of the stream. You are.
No, no. Well, that's true, but that's not why. So the way that these links work, and I don't make the link, I just copy it and send it.
Correct.
The way that these links work is that on the they have like a mime type handler or whatever that basically part of the link is like, try to open this in this app. And what happens apparently is the Rumble Studio app is not registered for its own Rumble Studio link, I guess. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing. We'll have to take it up with the people at Rumble that don't listen to us.
I have our producer get on it.
Yeah. Well, Brian,
come on.
Brian. All right. So Deacon is getting his mic and camera sorted out. He's here. Do Good sends his love, Deacon. You can see it right there on screen. So this morning I saw this story, Dave, and I thought, well, this is fun. The Trump administration has now sent the first 53 Venezuelans to Guantanamo Bay. Hey, it's Deke. There he is.
Hey, you can hear me? Okay, good. There's one.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you a little bit. So what's up with? Hold on. What's up with the weather today? You couldn't go to the office, or?
No, this is the end of the basketball seasons, and I worked yesterday. I was there from like 5:15 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and I've had a
Yeah.
I've had a lingering. I never have headaches, and I've had this headache in the back of my head that just kind of comes and goes for a couple of weeks.
Oh
And
yeah.
I got a tooth that's been bothering me too. It's been throbbing. And when I woke up this morning, my head was hurting, my tooth was hurting. I was going to have to go back to the radio station for a game tonight. I've got two tomorrow, and I laid here at like 4:30 a.m. thinking there is nothing emergent that I need to do at the radio station other than run the show. All the normal
Which you can
stuff in
do
the show,
remotely.
which I can kind of do remotely, but you know, I I've been a DJ for 30 years. I haven't taken a vacation like in 7 years, 8 years. I don't take
Mhm.
days off. I'm always at work. So I'm like, you know what? I don't think it's a bad thing to be able to take a day off from work. So I took a
Definitely
day
take a
off
day
from
off
work
of
today.
work.
Are you all about to get this rain that we're getting, Deke?
Oh
They're
my
calling for
God,
like
yeah.
3 to 5 inches.
The Kentucky Tennessee border, they're calling for like 6 inches in some
Okay.
spots, but the where we are in the middle, um, is like 3 or 4 inches, but still, I mean, that's a lot.
That is a lot
The
of
ground
rain.
is the ground is already saturated here in Western
And if it was
Kentucky. I'm sure
cold,
it's
that would
there
be
in
a
Central
lot
Kentucky.
of snow.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what the people are
A
talking.
lot
I saw people
of
talking, and they're like, "Oh, I wish it would stop raining." And I'm like, "Man, technically, this is supposed to be snow. You
snow.
know,
You
this
get
is
roughly
technically
2
supposed
inches
to be
of snow
snow."
for 1 inch of rain. So 30 to 50 inches of snow.
And I hate to sound like the old guy, but when 30 years ago in the
Hmm.
90s, we got feet of snow.
Yep.
It wasn't a big deal to get like, oh, we've got a foot and a half of snow. Now you don't get a foot and a half snow.
Mm.
Now you don't really. When's the last time you had a foot and a half of snow?
Oh my God. I don't know. Maybe one time in the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, I can remember we had
I don't even know if
maybe
I
a
remember us getting a
foot of
foot of
snow.
snow.
Yeah, yeah. It might have been a foot. We don't get the snow. I mean, I hate to sound like the old guy, but it's the truth. We don't get the snow like we used to when I was just 30 years ago, just when I was in high school. Y'all
Well,
rarely get snow there where you're at, though, dude. Don't you, JJ? I mean, y'all had a snow event this year, but
I
how
we had a
often is
snow.
that?
I had 4 inches of snow this year, and the last time I had snow was probably the infamous cold snap in like 2021 that like turned all power and everything off. So we rarely get snow down here. So
Dude,
so you
dude
guys are
gets
having a bad storm up there, huh?
You good says it's because of
well,
climate change. Never mind.
never mind.
Climate change is
Yeah,
real. It's just, is it man made or is it just natural cycle?
and that's what I've always said. My sister-in-law is crazy liberal, and we have these conversations all the time. And I told her that exact same thing, Dave. I was like, climate change is real, but we as humans have lived on this earth for just a little speck of time, and
Mhm. And the climate has
we
never
have
changed in the earth before. Never.
yeah, and we've only been measuring, weather for a speck of that speck of time. So yeah, climate change is more than likely real because the Earth goes through this stuff. Does man contribute to that change? I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say that it's so significant that it's completely melting everything. No, we probably do, and it probably affects some things, but I don't think it's anywhere in the realm of significance for the overall Earth. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think what we do and pump into the air and stuff, it absolutely does things. I mean, I could get into that crap, how, we've talked about that spraying and stuff before and how it affects weather
Yeah.
modification and stuff. I just read an article the other day from
Hmm.
some botanists somewhere, and they were talking about how the trees, the grass, everything, they've been measuring these levels in the trees, and starting from about the 90s, they can tell in these trees, it was about 30 years ago, the aluminum in the trees is unbelievably high. And it starts,
Right.
and when they measure these trees, it starts in about 30 years ago. I'm watching your faces. You don't,
You can't
you don't think I'm sitting here seeing both of you?
you can't
Oh, I see that down there.
try to.
I want people to know that you're talking. So
Thank you,
if the camera
buddy.
don't work, we got you.
I know you love me.
I think I had a
Can you make
hard
it
time
bigger?
getting.
I don't know.
I had a really hard time with
Yeah,
getting
I
this to
can.
work on my phone. I'm sure y'all remember me switching back and forth from front
Yeah.
camera to back camera.
So what are you on the are you just on a browser right now on your phone, Deke?
Yeah, I couldn't get Rumble Studio to even. It was like inactive account. Your account has been deactivated. I'm like, no.
Yeah, they don't have they need I'll have to send a complaint over there to be like, hey, the links do not open if you're not signed in, maybe. I don't know. Well, I hope you stay warm if the snow's coming through.
No, no, it's not. It's all right.
Do good. Do good likes your picture. That is right off Andy's Facebook page. So little to
It
no
is.
editing. Yes, it is. Yes, it
Damn.
is.
I just do that. I'm not one of those people that always has to be
Hey,
serious. You gotta
you're
be
the best.
stupid, man.
You're the I think everybody agrees you're the best part of the show. Okay, so Deke. Oh my God, it's even better. We have a story. It's even better. Trump administration sends 53 Venezuelans to Guantanamo Bay. Trump
Turn your screen
administration
off. JJ, turn your screen off.
53. Why? Why?
Just leave Deke up there.
Oh, just leave Deke. No, I'm not going to do that. 53 criminal illegals were not identified by name, but they're now being housed in the military-operated detention center where some of the world's most dangerous terrorists have been kept since attacks on 2001. DHS and DOD have not made any statements on the more than 4 dozen detainees, but they did confirm that they had entered the U.S. illegally and are violent gang members and other high-threat illegal aliens. This is the first time that the facility in Cuba has been used to house criminal illegal aliens deported from the U.S. mainland, though some illegal aliens picked up at sea had been processed at Guantanamo Bay in the past. A number of Islamist terrorists are now being held in the facility, and that number has been dwindled down to 15. The American Civil Liberties Union has already filed a lawsuit against the administration. The American Civil Liberties Union has already joined the team of the illegal alien Venezuelan criminals against
Well,
the American
did you
public.
expect anything less?
It filed a lawsuit to get access and visitation rights with the criminal aliens sent to Guantanamo Bay.
What did
So,
I had a co-host on one of my morning shows one year on the classic rock station. He called them the ACLU was the anti-Christian and liberals union is what he called it.
It might be the anti-citizenship.
No
I wonder if the
kidding.
ACLU gets any of that USAID, that sweet USAID butter.
Hey, did that list update? So you got names
Yeah,
today,
so
right? Nope.
I did not see that. I checked Doge.gov this morning, but it was like 5 a.m. They had not updated the savings yet. They do have their Twitter, their X feed on there. Oh my God, my mouse is just driving me crazy. They have their X feed on there with like various posts about cuts and so forth. But so far they don't have the savings yet. And I didn't see Trump's statement yesterday about he was gonna drop names, right? So I didn't see that come out yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw any of that. So yeah, Venezuelans. So if you are an illegal alien and you're a violent dickhead, there's a non-zero chance that you find yourself in Gitmo.
Now, how long ago were these individuals arrested?
Well, I don't know. We've probably had these guys for a while, I would imagine. Don't you think?
I don't know.
Let's see. I see posts on here about when ICE is going to clean out Colony Ridge. We'll have to see about that. Let me pull up my other stories that I had. Man, we're just having a rough week. You know who else is having a rough week? People that live in Oregon. Have you seen the news about Oregon?
Dude, there's a lot of cars.
No. What was going on?
Yeah, so Oregon decided to role play the Blues Brothers movie, and they had a 100 car pileup.
Holy crap!
100 cars. I don't know if this video is related to that or not. This brutal snowstorm's coming in. There is a stretch of highway east of Portland. Oh, here we go. Let's see if we got some video here. Look at that snow. So apparently there were whiteout. The audio's terrible. There were whiteout conditions, and oh, look at this. Let me turn this sound off. There's obviously wrecks, and people are just like scooting on by. Like, does this make a lot of sense?
And they gotta go get
I don't know
groceries.
that makes a lot of sense.
And where is it? Is it in Oregon?
This is, yeah, there's a highway. I think it's Highway 84, I-84, east of Portland, and like a huge amount of road was shut down essentially because of these the 100 car pileup. Some vehicles caught on fire. But look at the conditions. Look at the conditions in the background. There's so much snow, so much, like you can't see more than 10 or 15 feet. Like if you're driving in whiteout conditions like that, you're just taking your life and everybody else's life into your hands. Oh, you can't see this here. Here, look at this. Look at this. You cannot drive like this.
Mm-mm.
Do you guys ever have to drive in weather like this? I mean, like that's just
Not like that. I don't.
not.
I don't. People do.
I mean, you can see from the photograph that the wind and snow is blowing across frame, and at that rate, there's a virtual guarantee chance that you're going to hurt yourself or someone else.
Now,
So, yeah.
Deke, when you drive in snow, do you make the Star Wars connection?
Oh my god!
Throw
I
the
can't
brights
turn
on
on.
and yell like Chewbacca?
If you turn on the bright lights, you go into hyperspeed. Yeah, when you're driving in snow, if you turn on your bright lights, it's like you go into
It
hyperspace.
is amazing.
Yeah, we do. I do that all. I did that with the
Okay.
kids when they were little. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
still do it.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh,
But what I was
yeah,
going to say, JJ, about that is I've driven in the, early morning traffic in the snow where, it's not, the sun hasn't come up. A lot of the crews hadn't been out on the roads back and forth to clean it off. So it's a little more dangerous when I have driven before. And there are, like, on interstate travels like that where there's one lane that's kind of clear with,
yeah.
two tire lanes, and the other side, the passing lane, is all packed down snow. And these guys in 4-wheel drive trucks and some semi drivers that, especially the semi drivers that are hauling, fully loaded, they just go, man. They just go. And I honestly can see why, because if you get stopped, if that 80,000-pound freaking semi gets stopped on a hill, he ain't getting up that hill.
I mean, I first of all, I don't know why you want to live in Oregon in the first place. It's nothing but cold and miserable. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Texas is the best state. See, if you had been in your studio today, and I'm not saying you should have, but I feel confident that you would have pulled up a Blues Brothers clip of the largest crash ever on
Oh,
in film
absolutely.
history. Is it still the largest crash, or have they out crashed that? You know what I mean?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
All right, so let's talk about Kentucky for a second and what you guys are doing to our country. And
Great.
specifically, I'm talking about Mitch McConnell. What are you doing with Mitch McConnell over there?
I don't know what you're talking about. Who?
Donald Trump rips Mitch McConnell. He's not equipped mentally. He let the Republican Party go to hell. Mitch McConnell, 83, just got kind of him and Donald Trump, they don't get along. They never have, right?
Right.
But this week, I think it was this week, the Senate confirmation for Tulsi Gabbard came up, and I think that Mitch McConnell voted against Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, I think he was the
Yeah, he
only
was. I
one.
did know he was the only one.
Yeah, so and which was like a protest vote or an FU vote, or I guess I don't know what he thought he was going to do with that. He voted Wednesday against confirming Tulsi Gabbard as the DNI, and previously voted against Pete Hegseth's confirmation in January. He's not voting against Bobby, Trump said of McConnell's vote against RFK. He's voting against Trump. So petty. It's so petty. If I didn't come along, the Republican Party wouldn't even exist right now, Trump said of McConnell. He's not equipped mentally. He wasn't equipped 10 years ago mentally, in my opinion. He let the Republican Party go to hell. He had an ability to raise money because of his position as leader, which anybody could do. You could even do it, Trump told Collins, and that says a lot. Wow. Let's see if he has anything else to say.
RFK Jr. as the next health secretary, citing conspiracy theories. What's your
what did you stop?
reaction to that?
Well, I feel sorry for Mitch. And I was one of the people that he wanted to go to the end and he wanted to stay leader. He's not equipped mentally. He wasn't equipped 10 years ago mentally, in my opinion. He'd let the Republican Party go to hell. If I didn't come along, the Republican Party wouldn't even exist right now. Mitch McConnell never really had it. He had an ability to raise money because of his position as leader, which anybody could do. You could do it even. And that's saying a lot. But the fact is that he raised money and he gave a lot of money to senators. And so he had a little loyalty based on the fact that as leader, you could raise.
Trump is like, I'm answering your question. It's just in the middle of my question. I'm just going to insult your intelligence and capability. You're obviously a retard.
We're just saying a lot.
I missed this so much. Donald Trump is the best president in the history of the United States. I think that's honestly true. All right. You know what? That reminds me of another, but I don't know if I posted it. Let me see if I posted it. I saw this morning. It's super funny. Amuse. Amuse posted this morning and I replied, but I want to share this with you guys. And you know how effete liberal academics, they all get on stage and they, sit in chairs and ask intellectual questions of each other, and they're impressed with their sound of their own farts. And let me pull my replies up. How do I get to my own face? There we go. Here we go. Replies. That's not it. Sorry. Please be patient. Here we go. Amuse posted this. I know. It's just I'm the worst.
Anything. I'm just waiting for you to put something else up.
I know. Here, I have to get it ready before I put it on screen. Here are some very smart people that have very smart things to say at the IOP Institute of Politics. Divided we stand. Now, first, this guy's going to talk and he's going to kind of pose a question, but then in a minute, this guy is going to give an answer that makes a little more sense.
But they have become more Republican. So you have
Wait, say that again. The men?
They have not identified as more conservative, but they are becoming more Republican. From the Obama era, young men and young women were Democrats, right? For both elections, strong majorities of young men and young women voted for Barack Obama. And then you had a slow decline, right? This didn't happen in just one election. There's been a deterioration of Democratic identity among young men for over 10 years. And so
are you saying specifically they turn against Democrats?
I'm saying that they are more, yes, they are more Republican now, but not necessarily because they've shifted to the right on issues like climate change or abortion.
I'm gonna just clear this up. He is saying that young men are now more Republican, but not necessarily more conservative. They're not Republican because of issues. They're not Republican because of social issues or fiscal issues necessarily. They're becoming more Republican for other reasons. That's what he's trying to say.
Or same-sex marriage. They're still well to the left of their dads and grandfathers when it comes to that stuff. And so you have this really interesting situation where this group, again, looks on paper fairly liberal in a lot of ways. And in point of fact, you had 6 in 10 young men who are moderates vote for Trump, and more than 1 in 5 liberal young men vote for Trump, right? And so if we're going to look for explanations, we need to move beyond issues. We need to understand, like, there's something about Trump
why
that was
are young
attractive,
men
and then there's something about the
becoming
Democratic Party,
Republicans if they're
at least in
not
its
more
current
conservative?
manifestation, that was repellent.
I was really struck by you saying,
What
especially
ages
that,
is this?
yeah,
that they're
even
talking
He's
if
about?
they're
probably
more
talking
likely
18,
to identify as
24,
Republicans,
18
they're
to
still
30.
far more liberal than the men of generations before them, and I think that's something that would surprise a lot of young women like myself to hear that. I was surprised.
Hold on, the answer's
So
coming.
what is it that we're missing about, or what is it that people who are not, who, as
This guy's
Magdalene
got
said,
the
people who
answer.
Yeah.
don't understand why? That's my first question. I have a second one, but go ahead.
Okay, so what I would start with is men aspire to be bigger, stronger, and faster than we are, almost universally. That's why superheroes are popular. That's why pro athletes are popular. Who is the most masculine Democrat right now in America?
And there's
Mayor
one.
Pete?
Is that a gay joke?
No, Mayor Pete. No, well, no, it's just that he's not particularly masculine. Nobody's like, oh, Mayor Pete, he's a badass. Chuck Schumer? Is anybody like, hey, Chuck Schumer holding up an avocado and a beer to talk about the Super Bowl? Is anybody like that trying to grill? Is anybody like, hey, that's a dude I want to hang out with?
But Trump's like a grandpa.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Trump took a bullet in his ear and immediately stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. Every man in America and most of the women out here were impressed by that, even if the women won't admit it. She's shaking her head strong. And second part of this, basically summing it up, Democrats for men are pussies and Republicans
Democrats for men
are pussies. There are no masculine
I didn't understand
men
it. She had to be
in
like,
the Democrat Party right now.
she said, so what you're saying is that for Democrats, for men, they're pussies. Yeah, Democrats are pussies and they're retarded pussies. Democrats are retarded pussies and they have to have it explained to them that they are weak and unaspirational.
It's a good,
This is
it's
so
a good statement though. Like, what are the male masculine role models? Because I mean, you can ditch or diss on masculinity and what masculinity is and isn't. That doesn't change how society primarily understands masculinity. I don't even know what the answer is on that one. So, but that's
okay.
an
So
interesting
probably the liberal leftist Democrat leaning masculine men will, in many situations, downplay their liberal or democratic tendencies. So The Rock is probably the most masculine Democrat out there.
Oh, fair. But he's not a politician yet.
No, but whenever he gets kind of like asked political questions, he tries to take the smartly, rightly, he tries to take the apolitical middle ground of neutrality and, like not really lean in one way or the other. The ones that like lean hard left are Mark Ruffalo or Chris Evans or, these kind of like
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Mark Hamill. And like
I sent you that, right?
Not inspiring. What did Mark Hamill do? For me, this was hilarious that these guys are trying to have this high-minded conversation to pick apart the nuances of the migration of young men from left to right, and and
Well,
don't even get
the
it.
Star Wars universe had created a really good story for Luke
with
Skywalker. Right, D.
Mara Jade. You know what? You
Mara
know,
Jade.
JJ. You've read those books,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mara Jade story, and they fall in love. And for those that don't know, she was an assassin that was sent after to kill Luke Skywalker, and they ended up falling in love and have babies.
He does kill
End of
Luke.
story. Yeah,
Luke.
Yeah.
Luke. Not Luke. But
Oh,
yeah,
that
but
Luke,
clone.
but so
Luke the clone
so
with 2 U's.
so yeah, Lulu. But so Disney like went and said, oh, all this crap don't matter anymore, and that's not canon and blah blah blah, and we changed that, and we've had this discussion with Dave Filoni trying to throw that stuff back in there, a little bit of stuff. Well, Mark Hamill just come out the other day and was like, well, yeah, Luke Skywalker's gay. Of course he's gay.
Of course he is.
And then William Shatner
Really?
came out and said, Star Wars fans keep saying Disney destroyed Star Wars when it was when they annulled Mara J's their relationship or whatever. And I'm like, oh my word, Shatner's coming out swinging it at Hamill. This is crazy.
So this is I see a story here from 2023 where Mark Hamill said, Luke Skywalker, gay if you want him to be. So Mark Hamill was just letting people read into it. But are you saying that more recently he has affirmatively said that?
It was trending on X yesterday. I didn't go down the rabbit hole.
Was it really?
Yep.
Let me see.
I never use X. I got a notification from a message. So I opened X up and I saw, what's going on here? Oh, the internet.
Gay Skywalker. I'm not clicking on that one at all. Nope.
You want to see his lightsaber?
Here is William Shatner. No, I don't want to see his. Let's
talk about his lightsaber.
William Shatner
go to Google,
on.
Go to Google, JJ, and type in Mark Hamill's lightsaber and hit enter.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
no.
do that. Do that. Yes.
No, you can bring it up on your. Dave will do that for Star Wars fans who are trying to tell me that Disney ruined everything. I assume you're referring to Mara Jade. This is William Shatner posting this.
Yes, Shat throws down.
Hamill actually ruined it for you when you revealed Luke was gay. Mara being struck from Star Wars canon was part of her annulment agreement from the Force. So I have to say, I am honestly just so impressed that William Shatner is even commenting about Mara Jade at all. So William Shatner is based Star Wars fan. I'm shocked. Yeah. So that's funny. Star Wars.
Why is he gonna say, Luke, I am your daddy? It's just.
Oh, jeez. Pudge says he's not gay. Poso says based Mara Jade was done wrong. I gotta say, it's been many, many years. I mean, it's been probably 3 decades since I read.
I just reread them a couple months ago.
Timothy Zahn's Star Wars books, but in those books for sure, Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker. And the thing that I remember about Mara Jade, I remember 2 things. I remember as a 14-year-old kid or whatever, 15-year-old kid, I remember Mara Jade was a legit badass in her own right.
Yeah.
And it was pretty awesome that Luke Skywalker, my childhood hero, had found someone that was his equal, and in every way that that he was trying to do the right thing and help people or whatever, but he brought her back from the edge of darkness because she was like a right hand of the Emperor, right?
Yeah, the hand of the Emperor.
Yeah, so she was still dangerous, but he redeemed somewhat, like Luke Skywalker redeemed her by, bringing her back to the light side. But they were equal. And I thought that was like really cool that there was a kind of counterbalance there. That was really attractive, especially as a teenager. You don't have any necessarily real relationships with a girl at that age, you know, any kind of meaningful relationship. It was a good model in some ways for the balance between a man and a woman, a husband and a wife. I guess they were married. I don't know if they were married or not in the books, but they were counterweights to one another in a way that moved both of them forward. In a way that they were counterweights to a way in a way that progressed both of them to a better life. It's pretty cool.
Do Good says William Shatner is just sad because Star Trek never took off the way Star Wars did.
Oh
Those are
my
fighting
God.
That's not
words.
true at all.
Do good. Those are fighting words because I was just fixing to say a second ago. I was like, further proof why Star Trek is better than Star Wars. And
I am not a
this is coming
Trekkie
from
at
a
all.
lifelong Star Wars fan. I mean, I used to play Trivial Pursuit Star Wars for fun, but I mean,
So
after watching all the Star Trek stuff and seeing all the stories, I mean, it to me as a storyteller, Star Trek is superior.
So what I'm looking at here says the Star Wars franchise is worth 42 billion, and the Star Trek franchise is worth 7.8 billion.
Well,
Um,
the Star Wars franchise is much more marketable than the Star Trek franchise.
Yeah.
I don't know
Because you
why.
can
The
sell
world
action figures with lightsabers.
well the world is much more, it's not smaller, but it's much more contained with your little story in this, where in Star Trek you have this story here and this story here and this story here and this story here. So if you were going to sell freaking, if you were going to market it, you've got to market Shatner, Picard, Cisco, every single one of them and
Yeah.
all the different characters and every one of them. And that just gets convoluted from a marketing standpoint to me. You have the diehard people that are be like, I want every figure, but not everybody.
So
but every
I think
kid
you
is going to want Darth Vader and Boba
I
Fett.
think you could say that Star Wars is more accessible because there's fewer of it. There's fewer movies, and you
There
can
used
just
to be.
watch the movies. Now, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
there used-
honestly,
and
there's
and
cartoons and stuff, but peripheral.
Star Wars characters are, once again, I'm looking at it from a storyteller standpoint. Star Wars characters are just as deep as Star Trek characters, and maybe even deeper, but
I
they're
just
more
read that. Did y'all
marketable.
watch
They have more
Skeleton Crew?
charisma.
Did you watch Skeleton Crew?
I haven't watched
Dude, I watched
Skeleton Crew
Skeleton.
yet.
Arr! I'm a robot in
Or
space.
Star Wars
Arr!
Skeleton Crew. I've heard great things about it, but it's the first
Yeah, all right.
series to not make the Nelson ratings at all, even on a
Yeah.
binge watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
see,
all right.
and that
Star Wars is
asks the
losing.
question.
Well,
We like what we like, but does everybody like what we like?
so Star Trek is science fiction. Star Wars is fantasy, and that's a big difference. Star Wars, it's fantasy. It's a swashbuckling adventure thing or whatever. It's in space, but it's a fantasy in space. Star Wars is classic sci-fi in all the ways that really matter, which is science fiction always grappled with philosophical issues that took place in a distant context to separate them from your direct life, but also to make the story an analogy for social and political issues of the time. It spoke to reality. It spoke to what is going on. And in that way, Star Trek is more impactful culturally long term. You are
I don't know what's going on
making
with
some
Deeks.
noise, bro.
You alive?
I don't want to mute you, but like you threw us down the stairs. All right, I'm gonna give Deke like 10 seconds. Okay, hold on. I'm unmuting you. How do I unmute you? You'll have to unmute yourself. I am sorry. I don't know why there's a tool to mute you, but you were making so much racket. I'm sorry. Go hit the unmute button on your he's gonna be mad at me. I don't know how to unmute you.
Good's mad at you.
I'm sorry. And now it just says remove as moderator, permanent mute, or kick.
Nothing.
There's no control. Deke, I'm
So
so
you
sorry.
need to send that to Rumble as well and say, hey,
Oh, he's back.
there we
So
go.
he has the
Back.
he can unmute himself. There you go.
Hello? No, I don't
Yeah.
ever do
Sorry.
that again, please. Jesus Christ. That was the hardest thing I've ever tried to do. This is not user friendly. Sorry, Ashley was
No, it's
leaving and she's
Uh-huh.
got a huge busy day today and I'm not gonna see her
Yeah.
until like 10 o'clock tonight. And she knew that I was in here, so I just heard the door slam. So I was like, or the door shut. I was like, oh my God, she's leaving. I need to go say bye because she said she wasn't going to bother me. But I wanted to tell her
Good.
bye. And
Good.
then I guess when my daughter left for work this morning, she let little dude outside, and little dude's been outside for a freaking hour.
a little
So
cold.
yeah, I was
Not
trying to get
horrible.
him. I
Not
was trying to
horrible.
get him upstairs, and I've got him on the spare bed right now, and I'm covering him up with blankets because he likes to snuggle. So my bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, the Star Trek, Star Wars. I mean, it's like the Lord of the Rings argument. You could even throw Lord of the Rings in there because of how epic and story wise it is, But Star Wars is more marketable. It will always be more marketable. I think Star Trek
I don't know.
is got the better stories, got the better storylines, and has the better ability to expand on the stories. I think Star Wars has the ability to expand on their universe and probably go a different direction and make it more marketable and attractive to the older viewers. Us three have watched Space Knights for 30, 40 years now. And
Yeah.
now they come out with stuff like the Skeleton Crew, and me and Dave, rave about the Clone Wars stories that didn't have anything to do with the Jedi. That everybody loved a Rogue One. Ooh, everybody! Oh, that's one of my favorite Star Wars movies, Rogue One. What's one thing that Rogue One did not have in it? A space knight
Star
with a
Wars.
laser sword.
Or there was no Skywalkers in it.
Right. And so that tells me, if I was somebody writing stories, that would tell me, okay, there's a market for stories set in this universe that have nothing to do with space knights. And so let's
I
do
even
this. And then
I
they
even like
tried to do
Solo.
Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, but they screw it up.
They added the Space Knight there. I like the Solo movie.
I
I
only
thought it was
watched it
fine.
once, and I watched it after hearing everybody complaining about it. And I watched it, and I don't remember like hating it, but I didn't watch it twice.
I didn't always like Lando because he seemed like a creepy. Would that be an androphile? Yeah,
Well, I think they
uh,
were trying to make him. See, it was during that time they were trying to make Lando, an
right.
andro, whatever, bisexual or whatnot. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Robosexual.
I don't even know anymore. I'm sure there's something like that.
We lost JJ. He went to the bathroom, I'm sure. Excuse me, I'm yawning. So yeah, the whole Star Wars thing, man, we're back to the left show of masculinity. There are definitely individuals on the left that are very masculine. I just don't see it in the politicians. I think that was the point that dude was making from Outkick.
Well,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
and that's not my point. That's his
Dave,
point that I'm
y'all
making.
don't think David Hogg is masculine?
David Hogg is a grifter. He wasn't even there that day. He's a grifter. All right, so I have some nightmare fuel for you, maybe a little bit. Check this out. Have you guys ever heard of a place called a Chernobyl?
Yes.
Yeah.
This
I heard about this. Oops.
this is Chernobyl being attacked by a Russian drone. Why are we trying to bomb a nuclear reactor that has
Was
already
it being
been blown
attacked
up?
or did it just crash into it?
It probably crashed. Do you think that Do you think it was an accident and it crashed? Man, this site sucks. What site is this? Zelensky, you can do better than this.
Yeah. You got $500 billion. Fix your internet.
Yeah, so a drone crashed into a building at Chernobyl. It might have been an accident. The overnight strike at that nuclear plant. This is BBC. BBC, your
right.
website stinks.
Well, I'm just
As
saying,
a
for frame of reference, Chernobyl is in the Ukraine,
Yeah, it's in the Ukraine.
which is really, really important when we start asking, is this an accident
Is it
or
even
not?
a Russian drone? Could it be a Ukrainian drone? IAEA, which monitors nuclear safety, says there's no elevated radiation levels, and the agency remains on high alert after the incident. In 1986, there was a Chernobyl explosion. More importantly, back in 2021, the Russians actually were shooting at Chernobyl. So it's Chernobyl seems to be able to hold up a little bit to a little bit of damage.
Have you? I was just reading this article the other day. I think this is kind of recent. I mean, this study is recent, but there have been past studies there where they've studied the coyotes and the dogs and stuff like that because when people were evacuated, they had to leave all of their pets. And so the cats really didn't study the cats, but they said they studied the dogs and whatnot, and then the wolves and the coyotes and stuff. And they were studying how they were adapting to this radiation. And since then, this article is actually talking about a specific type of tree frog over there and different types of amphibians that they've been studying. And every one of them, they're finding these. The reason they're surviving is because their DNA has literally like unlocked a way to keep to fight the radiation. And so that posed all kinds of questions like, is this in all of our DNA? Is if radiation took over the world, would humans eventually unlock this in our DNA in generations, and we would kind of change a little bit, but it would fight the radiations? And why is this in our DNA that's locked? Was there something in the past? Why is this like this? So it was a real interesting study.
I'm surprised
No, they
scientists are saying it's because we came from space, which was full of radioactivity, and so it's going to be dormant in our system.
We're all space dust.
So in 2024, there was a post here that said that in the ruins of Chernobyl, scientists discovered a black fungus that feeds on gamma radiation.
Yeah.
And it's growing towards the reactor core. It's so, and I know that iodine prevents certain isotopes from being absorbed by your system. So if you're taking, like, if you're in a radioactive kind of area and you take iodine, and that doesn't solve for all of the different kind of particles or whatever, but there's a certain particle that if you have low levels of iodine, it gets into your system and it bonds to your it bonds to something and it stays in you and it gives you cancer. But if you have iodine, it can't stay, and so it actually flushes out. So that's why they sell those iodine supplement capsules.
They were saying this one tree frog over there that they were studying, it's like all over the world. It has a very unique color in the forest over there it's because it's because of this radiation crap. It's only this color there.
These are some of the dogs that are genetically mutated that live in the Chernobyl region.
I'm going to go on. There is a documentary that I saw years ago called "The Children of Chernobyl," and it is talking about the people in the outlying areas and towns and all of the children that have been born 20, 30 years after that have these horrific mutations in these children. And some of these people are like adults and stuff, and they're have these mutations and stuff. It's called Children of Chernobyl. I remember that was the name of it, I think.
All right, I got one more thing,
Yeah.
and then we can go for today. Happy Valentine's to all your spouses out there. This is a photo from the White House, the Oval Office. That's Marco Rubio. Behind Dave is Donald Trump. Right down here where you can't see him is Donald Trump. So this is a modern Oval Office. There's Trump in the corner there, and this is that kind of door that curved door that swings into the Oval Office, and you see that there's a picture in the hallway outside the Oval Office. And if you zoom and enhance, you can see that there is a framed photo of the New York Post of Fannie Willis doing the mugshot of Donald Trump. So Donald Trump's mugshot on the New York Post is hanging in the White House.
That's
it's amazing.
That's funny.
So yeah, I think that's the best thing today. All right. Sorry about look, next week's show is going to be better. I'm working on I'm not working very hard on stuff. It's not going to be much better.
Don't lie to these people.
All right, guys. Do you have big, exciting Valentine's Day plans? I'm going to go have breakfast with my wife in about 5 minutes. So
we're going out tonight at some point. My wife and I are.
Yeah.
Well, y'all got to experience my Valentine's Day plans there a second ago. I got to kiss Ashley as she was leaving, and I won't see her until tomorrow.
No way. Not till tomorrow.
She works tonight. I work tonight. She's got work all day, showings and all kinds of stuff, and then she's got a thing tonight. And I've got to work tonight, so
maybe a little surprise, like peek in at lunch and be like, "Brought you a sandwich." Maybe something like that.
There's none of that. No, that won't happen.
Okay. Well, happy Valentine's Day. You guys want to do a joke? Let's do a joke.
Yeah.
Let's do a joke.
So this happened last year on Valentine's Day. Julie and I went out, fancy restaurant, as always. And she says, "David, say something to me that'll get my heart racing." And I looked at her in the eyes, I grabbed her hands, and I said, "I forgot my wallet."
All right. Hey, did you guys hear about that rumor about butter?
Oh. No.
No.
You didn't hear it?
Is it spreading everywhere?
No, never mind. I wouldn't spread it. Damn it.
No. All right. A Texan, JJ, you should associate with this one. A Texan went into an Ivy League party on the East Coast. He walks up to a group of young women and asks, "Howdy, which school did y'all go to?" And one of the women replied, "Yale." And the Texan said, "Which school did y'all go to?"
Oh my gosh.
That's a good one.
Oh, and now it's not playing. Come on. Outro, play the outro. Of course it's not going to work. Rumble, your app sucks right now. Bye, everybody.